Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguele. Talking security, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has said that significant strides have been achieved in addressing security challenges across the country in recent times. The minister stated this at a press conference in Abuja, where he highlighted successes achieved by security agencies.
Though some of the troops paid the supreme price in the course of the operations, the security and intelligence agencies have consistently exhibited gallantry and resilience in the various operations across the country. We owe them a debt of gratitude.
Lai Mohammed, assisted by Minister of Interior Rauf Bishola, said the present administration is determined more than ever before in supporting security agencies towards ensuring that security of the lives and property is guaranteed for all citizens.
And Vigo, security agencies are set to sustain their onslaught against terrorists, bandits, and criminal elements in our country, and will not relent until peace has been restored to every troubled part of our dear nation.
The minister appealed to Nigerians to support security agencies and the government in achieving the commitment of making Nigeria safe and habitable for all. All right, let's also tell you that Oyo State Police Command has commenced investigation into alleged criminal activities that led to communal clash at Igongon in Igbarakwa local government area of the state. The police commissioner and other state government security team visited the communities for on-the-spot assessment and peace talks. Let's hear more from Ayomiku Ajibola.
The high rate of kidnapping, armed robbery, rape and other crimes coupled with the recent clash between farmers and herders at Igongon town, where some unknown hoodlums set ablaze the house and some other properties of Seriki Fulani of Oyo State, causing unrest to the entire community. Oyo State Commissioner of Police led security team for on-the-spot assessment to the community. While engaging stakeholders at the town hall meeting, the Commissioner of Police appealed to them to allow peace reign and assure the people that the police and other security agencies will carry out a thorough investigation into the crisis to find a lasting solution to the security challenge in the area.
We can cooperate with the police, cooperate with the law enforcement agencies, and we'll make here safe and secure for each and every one of us, irrespective of where you come from.
It's not actually as if the community is against one ethnic group, but what they are claiming and the allegations that they have made is that a particular person who they are now seen to symbolize an entire ethnic group has been misbehaving.
The Commissioner of Police, who also visited Aguele and Tede communities in Okeogun area of the state that got engulfed in communal crisis, held peace parties at the Aguele town hall and at the palace of Onitede of Tede. Further peace talk between the two communities will hold at the office of the Commissioner of Police in Ibadan before the end of the week. From Tede in Okeogun area of Oyo State, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Ebonyi State Government has imposed dusk to dawn curfew from 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. as part of measure to return normalcy to the crisis-torn Effium community in Oha Uku local government area of the state. Governor David Humahi, in company of the State Commissioner of Police, Garba Aliyu, made this known during an assessment of the community. Chika Okore reports.
Houses were torched, lives lost, and others injured, while many were equally displaced. The popular Effiong market was also deserted due to fear of attack following the crisis that erupted from the leadership tussle of the people of Eza Effiong and Effiong communities belonging to National Union of Road Transport Workers. Visibly saddened, the governor, represented by his deputy, Dr. Kelechi Igwe, who again visited the scene of the incident for the second time, sympathized with the victims and assured them of adequate security.
We will not leave Effiong until there is peace, permanent peace in Effiong. Until they find solution to this problem, they will remain in detention.
While parading more suspects apprehended in connection with the crisis, Commissioner of Police CP Garoba Aliyu said normalcy has returned in the area.
About 8 persons were killed, and about 8 houses actually were destroyed, including a filling station. Okay.
Very first is to commend the effort of the security agencies. They have, more especially the police, they have done wonderfully well.
In Abakaliki, Chika Okore, NTA.
In Kogi State, 28 kidnapped victims consisting of 24 adults and 4 children have been rescued. A statement by Commissioner for Information of the state, Kinsley Fanwo, indicates that the success was achieved on Thursday through the new security architecture in the state, which accommodates local hunters with better understanding of terrains harboring criminals. The Irapeni Forest in the central part of the state, notoriously known as Kidnappers' Den, was stormed after credible intelligence and reports. A camp of the kidnappers was discovered, which led to hours of gun battle between the local hunters and the kidnappers, in which the kidnappers took to their heels with gun wounds. The statement further adds that security agencies should be alerted immediately such persons are discovered. Healthcare institutions should also seek clearance from security agencies before attending to any patient with gun wounds. Meanwhile, the Kogi State government has taken responsibility for transporting the rescued victims to their various destinations, many of whom were heading to the northeast. Transportation and compensations were provided, and they have been reunited with their families. About 600 internally displaced persons in Shira and Gyade local government areas of Bauchi State who benefited from the relief materials distributed by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons have applauded the federal government for providing succor to its people. Awal Abdullahi reports that the beneficiaries made the commendation during the distribution exercise in Shira.
Presenting the items to about 600 internally displaced persons in Bauchi State, the Commissioner, National Commission for Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Senator Bashir Garba Mohammed, represented by the coordinator in charge of North-East Zone, Ahmed Abdullahi Kaoji, said the gesture is part of efforts by the federal government to provide succor to the IDPs across the country. He noted that the Commission is committed toward provision of empowerment programs to IDPs in order to be self-reliant.
The federal government, under the dynamic leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, has demonstrated high level of commitment to the welfare of displaced persons in the country. In this regard, the federal government has empowered our commission and is currently carrying out distribution of items to POCs in many states of the federation, while also embarking on construction of massive housing units to resettle displaced persons.
The beneficiaries were full of appreciation and thanked the federal government for the gesture, saying it will go a long way in reducing their hardship.
I received a grinding machine and I thank the federal government for the kind gesture.
We thank the federal government for this gesture. This will go a long way in alleviating our suffering.
Member representing Shira Gyade Federal Constituency, Kani Abubakar Fogo, who was represented at the distribution exercise, applauded the federal government for considering Bauchi State and appreciated the Commission for equitable distribution. Items distributed include grinding and sewing machines, bags of rice, beans, maize, mattresses and blankets, among others. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
Victims of last year's rainstorm in Ilorin West local government area of Kwara State and internally displaced persons have received food and non-food items to alleviate their sufferings. Yabode Olunshola reports that the items were distributed courtesy of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons.
It would be recalled that many residential buildings and public infrastructures were severely damaged by rainstorm in October last year in parts of Ilorin. As part of its mandate, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, with the support of the federal government, has commenced the distribution of the first phase of the palliatives, with Asa local government as next set of beneficiaries.
This is the second in the series of intervention. Last year, March specifically, the lives of persons of concerns were touched in Patiji local government area and likewise Ilorin East local government area of Kwara State.
I'm advising them to make use of the items judiciously and not for commercial.
Items distributed include grains such as maize, rice, vegetable and palm oil. Other items are mattresses, mats and sewing machines. Aminat Imam Jimo, representing her household, is one of the beneficiaries of the federal government's palliatives to the affected rainstorm victims.
Most of the rainstorm that happened last year, most of us have mended our house. The food are too much expensive now. When we were given this food, it will help the family, it will help our community and our environment at large.
We will not be searching for food again. This item will go a long way. We are appreciating the federal government for this benefit.
Iyabode Olunshola, NTA News.
All right, on the political scene, President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to prospective members of the All Progressives Congress to take advantage of the re-registration and revalidation exercise to come into the fold of Progressives family. The president, in a recorded message, said APC has become a true platform for socio-political development in Nigeria.
There comes a time when all good people must not only speak, but rise up and get involved in the task of improving their society. The need has never been greater than now for all Nigerians to actively contribute to the all-important task of nation building by bringing about good leadership and governance. For most citizens, their greatest weapon is their vote. Register now for your party and register when the time comes for elections. Political parties are the main vehicles under our laws through which citizens can participate in the ideals and practices of our democracy. As we have seen happening around the world, good citizens join political parties and use them to bring about the changes they desire. I am therefore endorsing the nationwide membership registration and the revalidation exercise embarked upon by our party, the All Progressive Congress. I call on patriotic Nigerians to come out during the exercise, which starts on the 26th of January, and avail themselves of the opportunity to join the APC.
All right, and a reminder, the APC re-registration and revalidation exercise takes off officially this week, and the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has appealed to prospective members to take full advantage of the exercise.
Membership registration, revalidation and update exercise of our great party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, is finally here. The exercise commences on Monday, the 25th of January 2021, and offers current party members and other Nigerians the opportunity to take or renew their membership of the APC. I'm therefore calling on all party men and women and every eligible Nigerian to come out and register in their wards. This will enable them to actively participate in the affairs of the party and the political administration and development of our beloved country, Nigeria. The exercise is open to all Nigerians, 18 years old and above. As we warmly embrace the exercise, I urge us all to be orderly and law-abiding and observe all the health safety protocols. Register as a member and join in strengthening the APC as a party of the Nigerian people and the promoter of peace, unity, and progress of our dear country. Long live the APC. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In the meantime, the Director General of the All Progressives Congress, Governors Forum, Salihu Mohammed Lukman, has challenged political parties and leaders to assert their authority in mobilizing alternative responses which should inspire Nigerians to rise above the current high wave of ethnic and religious hatred in the country. In a statement, the Director General said the time is now to strengthen the institutions and actors that are weakening the nation's capacity to arrest and prevent criminal activities. Reacting to the crises in part of Oyo State, Salihu Lukman wants a stronger politics to be able to manage difficult realities in Nigeria as a united country that remain one despite its diversities. The statement appealed to the governor, May Malabuni-led APC caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee to initiate internal processes of consultations both within the party and across the executive and legislative arms of governments at all levels. Lagos is our first stop, and Michael would definitely guide us. Michael?
Thank you, Ruth. A 4-day boat cruise aimed at gathering oceanographic data within the Gulf of Guinea has been launched in Lagos. Amaka O reports that the target of the project by the Nigerian Institute for Oceanography and Marine Research is for sustainable resource management.
That signals the takeoff of Bayabona, a federal government vessel acquired in 2014. It is being put into use to conduct research that will provide adequate data for the federal government on how to better harness the nation's ocean resources.
Apart from knowing the resources, identifying the fishes, you also have to know the condition of which you are living, the quality of your water.
Considering the essential ocean variables like, ocean current, like sea surface temperature, we need to profile the water column for various parameters like chlorophyll.
About 16 early career scientists from within and outside the country are to benefit from the hydrography trip.
I've not seen any research that's worked on the ocean current, how it affects the biological oceanography. So that's the area I want to fill in.
It will give me that exposure I need to help me add up to my research work.
Meet Captain Stella Ebiokubere Obonya. She drives the vessel.
My main job here is to ensure that safety of life and property is carried out, 100%.
The Institute says the first ever hydrography trip within the Gulf of Guinea was made in 1962, although there has been several others, but this research boat trip intends to bridge the gap in paucity of information and add to the body of existing knowledge. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his administration remains committed to reducing the rate of maternal and infant mortality across the state. He emphasized these while inaugurating projects, including an ultra-modern 110-bed mother and child center in Badagry. Musa Toliat reports.
The Mother and Child Center, uniquely designed to suit the pre-conceptual integrated health services, has capacity to offer emergency services, obstetrics and gynecology, laboratory services, blood bank, radiology, pediatrics, family planning, and immunization. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stressed that the Mother and Child Medical Facility is an expression of his passion to ensure that no woman or child dies from normal life-enhancing process of procreation. Other projects inaugurated by the governor include a school of aesthetic studies to train more health officials and a 252 housing unit of 2-bedroom bungalows to reduce housing deficit in the state.
This is the third MCC that we're commissioning, but there's still a lot more that we're bringing out. Out of this commissioning, very, very soon, we'll also be commissioning the MCC in Ekpe, just for you to know that we're spreading development all around our state.
We're about ensuring that we deliver quality to our citizens. We're about ensuring that what we promise our citizens, what we promise Lagosians, we are continuing to meet it.
The governor also flagged off the reconstruction of the first phase of 5.5-kilometer Badagry Hospital Road as a dual carriage road to connect Idale, Povita, Tokpo, and Ajido communities to Lagos Badagry Expressway through Joseph Dosu Road. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Time now for some messages. The news continues shortly. Please stay tuned.
Wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher yo a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher yo a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Ajebo na better school for Las Gidi. Not be all this on a rugged school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi, we no happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, shall sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, it's not I talk with that now. Not for me. Not for me because of Pamio.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world. Welcome back. the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency says it is developing strategic policy frameworks to strengthen existing relationship with other law enforcement agents in the fight against drug abuse and trafficking. Abdulmalik Hassan reports that this was revealed at the agency's high command meeting in Abuja.
Rising cases in trafficking of illicit drugs among some Nigerian youth is giving stakeholders new task to come up with better strategies to contain with the organized crime. This session, therefore, is aimed at strengthening measures in collaboration with other law enforcement agencies to achieve the new target.
Reversing this ugly trend is non-negotiable, and we must do so speedily. To the unbending drug crime perpetrators, I would like to let them know that the game is up. It is high time they embrace another trade. The federal government policy on agriculture is a veritable window for them to leverage as substitutes.
As a first step towards increasing capacity of personnel, NDLEA is supporting the operation of the command with 10 vehicles donated by USA-based anti-drug agency. In Abuja, Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
A look at Agric. Federal government is collaborating with northern state governors towards addressing transhumane activities in the country. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Sabo Nanono, said ranching and development of grazing reserved on government-owned lands will be the focus. He added that Gombe State has already cut out 200,000 gazetted hectares for the project. He estimated that the value of livestock in Nigeria was more than 3 trillion naira, which he said the federal government regards as a national asset. The federal government's drive to avert environmental degradation as a result of continuous erosion and flooding has once again received a boost in Patigi local government area of Kwara State. Now, this played out at the inauguration of erosion and flood control projects by the Minister of State Transport, Senator Gbemisola Saraki, who affirmed the federal government's resolve to salvage the occurrence nationwide. Let's hear more from Olajide Bello.
That is another historic moment in the annals of Patigi local government area in Kwara State, with the Minister of State for Transport, Gbemisola Saraki, inaugurating the erosion and flood control project for the people of Patigi. Patigi, one of the agricultural hub with abundance of rice and fish, is one of the flood-prone areas that experiences annual flooding. This is why this project inaugurated, according to the former head of service of Kwara State, Dabarako Mohammed, who knows the town like the palm of his hands, takes us down memory lane as regards the topography and business activities in Patigi. As a former member of the Kwara State Flood Relief Committee, he provides solutions that can assist the federal government to find a lasting solution to the annual flooding.
The best solution that will stop flooding along River Niger and Benue is dredging of the two rivers. Once the rivers are dredged, then the water will find its course, and then there won't be flooding again.
When it rains heavily, sometimes the drainage, because that side down there, the place is somehow blocked, so the water will not be able to flow very well. So sometimes the water will just flow overfull the thing, and before you know, there will be water at where we are working, and it is not convenient for us.
Before in time of rain, and if you see how the stopwatch here is too much, but time they did this thing now, we are enjoying their work.
With the 3 erosion and flood projects executed by the Ecological Fund Office, the Dabarako Mohammed and other sons and daughters of Patigi can now breathe a sigh of relief and sleep with their 2 eyes closed without expecting the usual flooding. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Update on judicial panel of inquiry in Makurdi. Verum will definitely guide us. Verum.
Thank you for joining us in Makudi for the continuation of Nationwide. The Benue State Judicial Panel of Inquiry into alleged human rights violations by the proscribed Special Anti-Robbery Squad under the Nigerian Police Force SARS in the state has so far received 61 complaints from members of the public since its inauguration on the 25th of October 2020. Godwin Inalego reports that 52 of the complaints have been heard.
The panel, which was inaugurated in October last year, however, commenced its sitting in November 2020. Of the 52 complaints heard, the panel has concluded hearing on 20 petitions and are awaiting defense, while 4 cases have so far been struck out. However, the panel is still receiving more petitions ahead of its time limit of 6 months, which is expected to elapse in April 2021. At Monday's sitting by the panel, 7 cases were entertained, with 1 of the complaints struck out for lack of interest by the petitioner, while the other 6 complaints have been adjourned to another date. Hearing continues on Tuesday. In Makudi, Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
We hear in this next report that universities in Makudi have commenced second semester examinations 1 week after reopening of schools following suspension of the 9-month-long strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, coupled with the stay-at-home directives due to the COVID-19. Husseini Mohammed Isa reports that COVID-19 safety mechanisms have been put in place by the management of the universities to avert the spread of the virus.
For more than 9 months, academic activities were paralyzed in the nation's universities due to the prolonged ASU strike, which was later compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic. After suspending the strike and the subsequent reopening of the universities, students are now grappling with the new normal of life, which was brought by coronavirus. At the Benue State University, Makudi, the students were subjected to mandatory washing of hands and the use of face masks before gaining access to the institution. The situation is the same at the Federal University of Agriculture, Makudi, though achieving perfect adherence to physical distancing on campuses seems to be difficult to enforce.
I feel very excited and happy for we have stayed at home for 9 months. For we to come back and complete our exam is a great honor.
We will not actually feel okay because we can actually shake our friends, we can actually hug, we can actually do some certain things we used to do before.
It's very difficult, but we have no option because we students, we are trying to help Nigeria to fight against the virus.
Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Agriculture, Makudi, Professor Richard Kimbi, speaks on the measures put in place to abate the spread of the virus.
We will bring on board the issue of teaching them online. We have acquired a number of teaching aids so that we can have them in larger classes. Those small classes that they will be congested, we will avoid them.
The students have also called on non-teaching staff union of the universities to find a way of resolving their dispute amicably to avoid second strike, which they say have negative effect on their education.
COVID-19 induced adjustment appears to have no alternative, and unless everyone takes responsibility, the fight against the pandemic may be far from over. From the Federal University of Agriculture, Makudi, I am Hussein Mohammed Isa, NTA News.
That's a bit from Makudi. It's back to you in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Verim. And in line with education there, I'm sure you're aware that some Nigerians have fallen prey to unaccredited universities outside the shores of the country, especially in West Africa, in the quest to acquire knowledge, consequently ending up wasting their entire time and resources after realizing at the end of their studies that such qualifications are not recognized. Abdullahi Musa Suleja takes a look at this trend.
A 24-year-old Yahya Abdullahi was very happy to have gained admission to study his dream course in political science after failing to secure admission in any of many Nigerian universities due to competition for places after several attempts. 4 months after, Abdullahi's happiness was short-lived as he learned that he cannot continue the study at the school and course he was studying outside the shores of Nigeria were not accredited by the National Universities Commission.
I secured admission into Mahatma Gandhi University in Accra through their agents. We are more than 500 that we secured the admission. We have an uncle, we asked him to check the school in Federal Ministry of Education. We realized that the school is not accredited and we can't continue studying over there.
We do not accredit universities outside Nigeria. NEC does not do that. We have in the last few years had course as a commission to run a lot of adverts warning Nigerians, warning parents that there are universities in some countries, in some African countries, that exist only for Nigerians and only for our money.
As a matter of fact, Abdullah's University and many others like it in West Africa are said to have been established to swindle Nigerian students.
Most of them exist only for Nigerians. Only Nigerians are there. Ghanaians don't enroll in such universities.
The effect is that employers of labor continue making inquiries to verify the genuineness of such certificates from the National Universities Commission, who in turn inform them that such institutions are fraudsters.
In the last few years, we have had cause to talk to NYC, and NYC is now doing very well. They vet all foreign degrees, and they vet them very well. Once you go for a degree, it takes those number of years. So in the last 15 years, we've been running advertisements, public announcements continuously to let parents and wards and Nigerians know what a degree is and how you acquire a legal degree. But having said that, you cannot paint all of them with a single brush, that all the universities in a particular country are like this. No. But Cotonou is notorious. We have Cotonou, Uganda.
I feel bad, extremely bad, because I waste my time, I waste my resources, my parents waste their resources.
Abdullah, like other victims of this act, are seeking for stringent measures and enlightenment to address the problem which do not only endanger unsuspecting victims, but the image of Nigeria and the countries of study. Abdullahi Musa Sleja, NTA News.
Couldn't agree less, Abdullahi. Right in line with the federal government moves to reposition the teaching profession, the Akwa Ibom state government approves the employment of 1,000 qualified teachers for Secondary Education Board. Stakeholders in the educational sector say with the commencement of the exercise, they're optimistic that upon completion, the recruitment will boost power in the system as well as enhance students' performance academically. Ahmed Young Umo, who sorts the views of these stakeholders, now reports.
Having assured the people of his determination to focus more on education this year by ensuring upgrade of infrastructures, improved welfare for teachers and increased workforce, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, has taken a step further by approving the recruitment of 1,000 teachers into State Secondary Education Board, a move considered by stakeholders as a welcome development geared towards increasing the labor force considering the population of students in most secondary schools in the state.
Teachers have been retiring and they were not replaced, and we were running short of our staff, teaching staff in the school, and it is a step in the right direction.
It's going to be a positive one in that there's some subjects that has not been taught, which was very necessary in the curriculum.
The chairman of Akwa Ibom State Secondary Education Board, Ekaite Bon-Okon, speaks on the processes of the recruitment.
The governor is very particular about the quality of the people who are training our children. Therefore, first-class candidates will have additional advantage.
On whether the recruitment is being hijacked by politicians or a level playing ground is given to all applicants, she has this to say.
Anybody who wants to make a career as a teacher in State Secondary Education Board or any of the parastatal of the Ministry of Education should be ready to know that it is not business as usual, but a thing that you must commit yourself to doing, and therefore we expect the best out of it.
The entire recruitment process, including oral interview, is expected to have been completed by the second week of March 2021 in Uyo. Ahmed Young Umo, NTA News.
All right, let's head to Benin now to join Ugo Chukwuka, who is already waiting to bring us some more reports.
Thank you, Ruth. Good afternoon. With government policy of wearing face mask or face mobile coat, compliance to use of the face mask in Benin Metropolis is steadily on the increase. This is as officials have continued to spread out in public places, especially business districts, to enforce the use of the protective item. Aguele was in town and ran into some persons convicted by the mobile court in the city.
Favor Osas is a student. She is convicted for not using face mask in public. Her sentence is community service for 7 days or an option of 7,000 naira fine. She prefers the community service and has some reservations about the judgment.
I was accused of not using a face mask by some police officers. And these police officers have accused me we are not using face mask either.
Neither the registrar nor the judge were on ground to clear the air on her reservations. Like Favor, a good number of residents were arraigned.
They arrested me because of violating curfew. My friend called me that he was stranded, so I should come and pick him up. I thought maybe I can beat the curfew time, but too late for me.
Meanwhile, enforcement officers are stationed in different axes in the city center. As they enforce the law, many sellers of face masks are smiling to the bank. Some have tagged themselves to the officers to make more sales.
Face mask is going well, Sha. Yes, except we thank God for everything now. At least we don't put food for our table now.
With the rising number of COVID-19 infections, residents are advised to take responsibility for their safety by adhering to safety protocols. In Benin, Aguele Uju, NTA News.
And now 50 indigent students drawn from secondary schools in Ondo State have received education support from the state chapter of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ. Olubukola Aduwo reports that the national president of the association, Ladi Bala, who was on hand to distribute the award to the beneficiaries, promised that NAWOJ will support education of every Nigerian child.
Temiloluwa Adeshemoye, 11 years old, GSS1 student of St. Monica Grammar School, Ondo, is among the 50 beneficiaries of the second edition of the Educational Support Initiative of the Ondo State chapter of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists.
I promised them to face my studies so that I can be the first in my class.
The national president of NAWOJ, Ladi Bala, while addressing beneficiaries, said the association will continue to be at the forefront of promoting and upgrading the educational sector in this country.
What are you doing as a citizen, as a patriotic citizen, as a mother, as a human being? What are you doing to add value to the life of someone?
The state chairperson, Doris Olumoko, said 50 students drawn from across the 18 local government areas of the state also benefited last year. She promised that the association will ensure that every child in the state is guaranteed quality education.
The world must do far more to advance sustainable development goal 4, which is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all.
NAWOJ, however, called on philanthropists for financial support as it will go a long way in empowering more indigent students like Temiloluwa Adeshemoye in Akure. Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide today. We'll now take a break. The news continues in Abuja.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
edition of TV Guide is out, with special focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Lobo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
NTA News 24, a 24-hour news station, brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
Star Times channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
A food crisis is brewing, and our tables will soon be empty if the world's population continues to increase and food production decreases.
We're not producing enough for our population.
I will do better if I can get source, financial source.
Catch new episodes of Farm and Fortune every Monday at 5:30 p.m. on NTA Network.
Welcome back, Paul. Let's head to Kaduna right away. Let's get an update on the case of the proscribed Islamic movement and other reports from Salamatu.
Thank you, Ruth, and a warm welcome to Kaduna. Kaduna State High Court has directed the Kaduna Correctional Service to take Zinat, wife of Sheikh Ibrahim Zakzaki, leader of proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, for COVID-19 treatment at a government facility outside the custody. This was after counsel to Zakzaki and his wife made a case and presented the court with a medical report suggesting that Zinat has contracted COVID-19 9 days ago. Asheri Maxwell reports.
It's the first time the court is sitting on the matter this year. As usual, security has been beefed up around the court premises. Major roads leading to the courtroom barricaded. After a long waiting, counsel to both parties briefed journalists on court proceedings.
So we applied to the court to direct the prison, the authorities of the correctional center, to allow her to be treated outside the four walls of the correctional center. And the court graciously made the order.
Counsel for the defendant showed us a test result that was issued by the relevant government authority, that is Kaduna State government. So they showed us, even though today in court, we didn't receive notice of that before today, but in court he obliged.
The court, presided by Justice Gideon Kurada, continued hearing of testimonies from former witnesses.
Today we were able to take the testimony of 4 witnesses in support for the state. Tomorrow we'll continue with a few other witnesses.
So far, 9 witnesses have appeared before the court as hearing continues Tuesday, 26 January 2021. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
Moving on to a health report, Kaduna State government has rolled out package under its health care program for children under the age of 5, people with disabilities, and the age to access free medical services in the state. Already, about 400,000 have been enrolled in the program. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports that the Deputy Governor Hadiza Sabuwa Balarabe flagged off the exercise at Ungwerimi with a call on the operators to ensure the success of the program.
This is the way he works every day. 75-year-old Salisu Umazu is battling with health challenges and faces difficulties in settling his medical bills whenever he visits any health facility for treatment.
You don't have any money or anybody to help you. That's the challenge.
He is not alone in this, as many elderly people encounter such challenges almost daily. A situation which has forced the Kaduna State government to come up with more workable ways of assisting them. The establishment of a universal health care coverage for all provides a unique platform for the provision of free medical services for them. It earmarks 1% of its consolidated revenue to provide funds for free health care services to these vulnerable groups.
They've been able to enroll about 400,000 beneficiaries into the state contributory health scheme. There's been registration and empaneling of about 12,000 vulnerable persons to accredited primary health care facilities. And with the start of this enrollment, so far, about 120 of these enrollees have accessed care under the scheme.
About 300 healthcare facilities across the state have been accredited for the exercise, and more than 120 persons are currently accessing the healthcare services at no cost to them. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajinki, NTA News.
That is it from Kaduna. Is back to Ruth in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Salamatu. A joint operation by the National Emergency Management Agency and the Federal Road Safety Corps has led to the reduction of road crashes during the Yuletide. Abdullahi Mohammed reports that the operation court-named Eagle Eye is undergoing assessment by critical stakeholders in Abuja.
High speed, bad road, a cocktail for fatal accidents, and the worst-case scenarios play out during the Yuletide.
To slow down the mileage and reduce road crashes, the National Emergency Management Agency extended its expertise to Operation Eagle Eye with the Federal Road Safety Corps in the driver's seat. And from December 2020 to January 2021, the number of crashes nosedived.
I must be honest with you, we had less crashes, but we had more fatalities. And those fatalities was as a result of the attitudinal predisposition of Nigerians, particularly those who use articulated trucks, in terms of their loading pattern.
Stakeholders in disaster management are encouraged to work together in a properly coordinated manner to facilitate shared understanding of our common values and increased consciousness, which will eventually lead to reduced vulnerabilities and increased resilience.
The time to assess the impact of the marriage presents itself. From across the country, critical players were brought in. Their objective was to critique the modus operandi of the operation and provide in a guide was a professor of disaster and risk management.
Disaster management is to assure prompt assistance to victims and achieve rapid and effective recovery. Today we talk about 72-hour response, especially in natural disaster. A whole lot must be accomplished within 72 hours.
Ideas from these fora is expected to be utilized in the subsequent outings of the Operation Eagle Eye. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
And Sport Updates is next with Bade Adeleye.
Welcome to Sports Update. I'm Bade Adeleye. Stakeholders in the just-ended One Service, One Medal Games in Abuja have commended the organizers for a successful outing while urging improvement in subsequent editions to further integrate the annual competition.
The organizers of the game have tried much to see that at least they organize this game very, very well. The next plan, by the grace of God, we will have more athletes that will compete with the police and the civil defense.
There are a lot of athletes, young athletes that have been discovered, and they are coming in to showcase their talents. As you can see, there is total attendance of all the LEs, the law enforcement agencies, and other paramilitary as well as armed forces.
To To football now, Wiki Tourists will be hoping to pull clear of the relegation zone when they take on Jigawa Golden Stars in one of the matchday 6 encounters of the Nigeria Professional Football League, which will be live on the NTA from 5 in the evening on Monday. The tourists have 5 points from 5 games, while their opponents have 7 points. Meanwhile, reactions trailed the sack of Frank Lampard as head coach of Chelsea Football Club on Monday, a decision the club's hierarchy described as a very difficult one.
With Lampard, the bad run of results Lampard has acquired lately, you should expect Roman Abramovich, who doesn't joke, to give him the boot, and this is what he has done.
It happens in football, but fortunately he's working for a team that does not have patience.
Reports suggest German tactician and former Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund manager Thomas Tuchel is tipped to replace Frank Lampard at Stamford Bridge. And that concludes Sports Update. I'm Badi Adeleye.
That's Nationwide today. We do appreciate your company, and don't forget to keep the fight on against rape and rapists. But you have to stay tuned to NTA, because in the next few minutes a live match is coming up between Wiki Tourists of Bauchi and Golden Stars, or Jigawa Golden Stars of Duse, live at the Tafawa Balewa Stadium in Bauchi. And our studio will open shortly. Ayo Deji is right in the studio. Ayo.
Thanks very much, Ruth. It promises to be a very big match, and of course, many fans out there can't just wait to see this match, because you're talking about Jigawa Golden Stars, one of the giant killers so far in the Nigeria Professional Football League this season. All right, so you enjoy your time watching the match. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.